Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data Work channel. Today I am here with a new method on in Pyspark data frame. That methods relate to the looping of rows into particular data frame. Those are map and Foreach. These two are widely used iterators, or we may say that looping method used in Pyspark data frame, which we will be covering up in this particular video. So let's get started with the video. First, we will see that how to use this map function or map method onto that data frame, in which we will be using lambda function. If you are aware of lambda function, it's an inline function in which we inline declare the variable and then we do the calculation whatever needed. For that, what I did, this I have taken df underscore file, in which I am taking up the data from this particular file kept at file store table train2.csv. Once this is getting loaded into df underscore file, the data getting loaded to df underscore file, it is then changed to RDD. So since it is a Spark data frame, so we need to first change it to RDD. This is something point to be noted here, that whatever data frame we are having, we first change it to RDD, then we are applying map function over it, or may say method over it, in which we will be taking up lambda and then x is the variable. Now this variable is the data frame which we are having here. So data frame dot cells, and just to demonstrate that how the operations is going, I'm just concatenating both of the things. We may take any of the column from that whole data frame. So data frame, it is actually having multiple columns, if you can see, or let me first show you instead how the data frame looks like if you are new to the channel, because I have already covered up and I am already doing all the executions on this particular data frame only. So let me first show you so that it should be clear in front of you. df underscore file dot show. So you can see here that this is the data frame in which we are having multiple columns into it. It's a sales table basically. In that sales table, we are having a column sales and then the category. You can take any of the things on which you want to apply any of the calculations or the manipulation, whatever you want to do, you can just pass it over here into this particular function. Now once done with that, what we will take, since it's a RDD, so here neither dot show will work, or so just to show that neither show will work nor head will work, whatever the methods to show up the data frame we are having, that will not work. Here the thing will work is dot take, and in that take I'm just taking up 10 rows from top. So on execution of this, let me execute by shift plus enter. On execution of it, you can see that this sales value and then the category value have been concatenated to each other, and it's giving up the value. So this is how we can use map function to iterate over the rows into a data frame and then apply some calculation or manipulation over that. So this was one of the method with which we can loop to the rows. Another method in front of us is of for each. So in for each, what I have done is I have taken up a new data frame actually. So this is basically syntax which we are using. Spark, here we are creating the session, providing the column column names and then the data into it. So we created data frame. The data frame is df is equals to, this df is our data frame here. On that data frame, we are having two columns. Those two columns are sequence number, name. So let me uncomment this so that you can see at the real time that how the data frame is looking. After that, what we are doing here is we are creating, there is some twist here, please pay attention to it. Here you can see that we are creating a function over here with name f. Now that f is expecting a parameter, that parameter is the data frame which we created above. Now at last what it is doing, it is printing out the data frame dot sequence number. This is the sequence number, that's the column name which it is taking up. Now for to just come up with that for each, what we are doing, df dot for each f. So this is a syntax or basically rule with which we can go ahead to apply this for each. After that, one stage comes where we are using accumulator. Now the question comes that what is accumulator in Pyspark? So accumulator is nothing but it's a global variable, you may say. That means whatever nodes our workers are working, that means our jobs are getting done at several nodes, correct? So on several nodes there is a accumulator variable common throughout the nodes whatever you are having into that execution. Now when we get that variable value, we get that variable value into the driver node. Driver node is the main node which is controlling all your worker node, correct? So that is taken by the accumulator. So this is called as a Spark accumulator. So accumulator, we are here this just giving up the variable accum equals to spark dot context dot accumulator 0. Now what is 0 here? We are initializing that variable with having 0 into it. Then the data frame again, there we are applying for each. Again the lambda function. In that lambda function, what we are doing is we are using that accumulator which we have taken. That means the variable which we have taken. Variable dot add. We are using add function over here. So in for each and in accumulator, we may say we are having less functionality. That means we can only have some statistical calculation or addition or something like that. So there is some little less scope of flexibility in which we can play around with the manipulation or calculation. So right now we are doing add accumulator dot add, and just what we are doing, we are converting the sequence number to integer so that it can add up the sequence numbers. So once it is adding, we are just taking up the value with having dot value method. This is giving you as the result 10. So you can see that 6 plus 3 plus 1 is equals to 10, correct? So it is giving up you that value. Since it's a bit complicated one for each thing, so I am giving you another example as well. In this example, you might be become more clear that how for each is working. Again, same thing we are doing. We are recreating the Spark session. After that, we are recreating the accumulator. The Spark session has been created. Accumulator has been created. Now, RDD has been created. So there is difference between the data frame and the RDD. You must have got at top where we were converting our data frame to RDD with having .rdd method. So here, instead of creating the data frame, we have directly created the RDD. RDD can be created by spark.sparkcontext.parallelize. So what it will do, it will create your RDD. Now this RDD we will use to play around with. For that, what we are doing, we are declaring a function with count even number. That means this, from this data we want to count what all even numbers are there. We just want to take that count. So for that, here we are going to pass element to it. Now the element will be divided by 2 if it will not leave if it will be equals to 0, accumulator, that means accumulator is your variable, correct, which I already stated earlier. So accumulator dot add what to add there? 1. If it is divided by 2, that means it is a even. When it is divided by 2 and it's leaving nothing beside, that means your remainder is 0, then accumulator, that means that variable is getting incremented by 1. And at last rdd dot for each we are doing here. So that rdd here you can already see on which now we will apply for each. In that for each we will just pass this particular count even elements, that means this particular function, correct. And once that is done, again we will take value of that accumulator, which will provide you even element count as 2. You can see also that this 2 and this 4 is only the even one, so the count is 2. This was whole about this for each and then map function, or we may say method. Both of them were to iterate over the rows in a data frame. So that was whole about this video. Any confusion, let me know into the comment section. If you found this video helpful, kindly like to the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching the videos. See you in the next one.